urban population to reach 264 million by 2050. And firms roll out 100 million naira consumer promo. Lagos gets 179 billion naira. Oil states 424 billion naira from the Federation Allocation Committee. 6 million Lagosians living with hypertension, Lagos State government reveals. And Lagos State lost 133 lives to fire. 19 billion naira property recorded, and 1,685 accidents in 2025. Lingering sit-at-home disruption may hurt Southeast's 5.7 trillion naira fiscal plan. And still staying with the Guardian newspaper, TED Fund disburses 2.5 billion naira to each university in 2026. And Tinubu leads to Nigeria's green transition drive in Abu Dhabi. And still staying with the Guardian, 2027, INEC laments waning public confidence in election. And U.S. AFRICOM delegation restates collaboration with NDLEA. Edo government links Nigerians in diaspora to Ekpoma riot. And Nigeria-UAE signed trade deal, liberalize over 7,000 products. And police arrest Lamata driver over death of 19-year-old pedestrian. And residents raise alarm over alleged extortion during PHEDC metering customs. And group condemns demolition in Makoko, task Lagos government to halt exercise. Police recover rifles, ammunition in Delta raid on suspected kidnappers. And Nigerian customs sees 58 million naira petrol, used clothes in Adamawa, Taraba border areas. Nigeria's investment inflows are turning point, says Ministry. That's the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. NCC 6 Fair Sustainable Competition plans new study. And federal government to spend over 240 billion naira on rail infrastructure this year. 200 billion naira private debt fund unveiled to bridge SMEs financing gaps. And 6 higher institutions embark on 2 weeks warning strike in Katsina. Nigeria's fuel crude importation concern defies price war. Africa sidelined in renewable energy boom. All right, we move on to the Vanguard newspaper now. Residents flee Sokoto villages in droves as Bello Taji issues new threat. Okay. Nigeria to record fastest growth in 2026. World Bank. And Rivers crisis, APC, CSO, others slam Fayose over Fubara's APC status. All right, we move on to the cable newspaper now. ICPC arraigns El Rufai's associate, Amadou Sule, over 311 billion naira money laundering. And from Kanu comes this: I did not give approval to Abba Yusuf to join APC, says Kankase. Pebela orders release of students arrested during protests in Edo. And woman dies 4 months after doctors allegedly left scissors inside her during surgery in Kano. And US reps approve extension of Africa trade deal. Court nullifies PDP Guba primary in Ekiti. Nigeria, UAE sign trade deal to eliminate tariffs on thousands of products. Federal government hires lobbying firm to communicate Christian protection efforts to the US. The Sun newspaper is next now. On insecurity, US delivers critical military supplies to Nigeria. And peace at a price. How Katsina trades terror for stability. And 2027, ex-governor Chime endorses Tinubu, says APC best option for Southeast. And governors getting more money, confesses Obereviri, that's the governor of Delta State. Why controversial tax laws should be paused, that's coming from Peter Obi. And Lukman tops AFCON goal contribution, that's sport. Federal government to spend 11.5 billion naira on pilgrimage. 6 billion naira on nuclear energy, climate matters. This day newspaper is next now. Africa Confidential. Federal government outguns Biafra lobbyists seeking to influence Trump on Nigeria. And Tinubu signs comprehensive economic pact with United Arab Emirates. And FG approves 2026 intervention funds for 271 tertiary institutions. And Disco's billed customers 255 billion naira, collected 210 billion naira in October. And Nigeria systems killed. Talents don't match opportunities. Peter Obi again. Customs intercept smuggled goods worth 1.2 billion naira in Kwara. Yes, we move on to the Nation newspaper now. US delivers critical military assets to battle terrorist bandits. And prosecution witness identifies 2 defendants as attackers of Owo Church. An alleged terrorism financing court returns case filed in Bauchi Finance Commissioner's trial to CJ. And NARD applauds Tinubu's role, keeps strike suspension under review. That's the National Association of Resident Doctors. 1.8 trillion naira set aside to pay federal contractors. TED fund to distribute 6.452 billion naira among 271 tertiary institutions. And enduring legacies must be built on discipline, consistency, and strength of character. That's from Vice President Shettima. And Nigeria to host Investopia with UAE in February, seals trade deal. We now move on to New Telegraph. There will be shocks in 2027 election if vote counts. And Police Commissioner meets PSOs, CSOs across Western Port. APC begins state e-registration to strengthen party. Kwankwaso Kano governor disagree over alleged forced defection to APC. Education is key to success, Peter Obi. And on AFCON, CAF appoints Ghana, South African referees for Nigeria versus Morocco clash. Daily Trust is next now. Kwankwaso backs temporary APC shift. And Nigeria face Morocco in high-stakes AFCON semi-final today. And Kano resident, how my wife died after hospital left scissors in her stomach. And coming from Delta State, governors now getting lots of money, but some wants to hide it. Okay. US delivers military supplies to Nigeria. Next is the Tribune newspaper now. US delivers critical military supplies to Nigeria. Tinubu neither missing nor absent, APC replies Peter Obi. Sugary drinks increase risk of heart disease in children. Experts. Is it only in children? An LG account, Osun files charges against bank and officials. All right, we move on to the Punch newspaper now. Government budgets 525 billion naira for security as killing spread. Police rescue 60-year-old kidnap victim, arrest murder suspect in Oyo. And counterinsurgency, US delivers military supplies to Nigeria. 2027, AD faction eyes Jonathan Saraki Makinde alliance. And federal roads spending soars 489% to 3.23 trillion naira. And Nigeria UAE scrap tariffs on over 13,000 goods. And victims identify alleged or church attackers in court. And Canada-based Nigerian caregiver arrested for assaulting adults. And JAMB begins 2026 UTME direct entry form sales. January 26 sets registration exam dates. All right, we'll take a short break now. When we return, we will look at some of the stories in details. It's the Super Citizen newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja. Don't go away, the program returns shortly.
Of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. This is our journey. We've had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. A people united will never be defeated.
On the news during the week? Not to worry. Retrospect is here to make up for the missed information. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me Esther Musu on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Wake up, Abuja. Rise and shine. Get ready to start your day on Sunrise at Citizen. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7. Join us from 5 a.m. to 12 noon as we bring you the latest news, trending topics, and the most music to kickstart your day. From politics to entertainment, sports to lifestyle, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on our interactive segments, contests, and giveaways that will keep you engaged and entertained. Start your day with a smile. So, set your alarms and wake up to the best morning show in the city. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja's go-to station for news, entertainment, and more. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7 FM, 5 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday to Friday. Let's get this day started.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Super Citizen Newspaper Review, Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Yes, this is the second half of the show where we open the phone lines. The phone lines are open now. Call us on 0903 2229797. That's 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205. That's 0818 2222205. Don't forget, you can also send us a WhatsApp message on any of the two numbers. And yes, Mr. Salami is in the studio. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
Very good morning to you, Lawrence, and our Super Citizen listeners.
Yes, Mr. Salami is the Oga Patapata here, the Chief Operating Officer of Citizen 93.7 FM. And as usual, during the second half of the show, we always want to tap his brain that is full of institutional memories of over 40 years in the media industry. Once again, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you very much, especially for the free PR stunt.
Yeah, no, it's going to come at a cost. You know now that anytime I do stuff like that, you know what happens after the show.
My worry about it is that Oliver Twist will always ask for more.
Hey, that's the way we were created. All right, welcome to the second half of the show. Mr. Salam, let's start with the story. U.S. delivers critical military assets to battle terrorists and bandits in Nigeria. Nigeria's counter-terrorism efforts got a boost yesterday with the supply of military assets by the United States. The U.S. delivered critical military supplies to Nigeria to support the ongoing security operations against terrorists and other non-state actors. The supplies, according to the U.S. Africa Command, that's AFRICOM, underscores the security partnership between the two countries. Nigeria's Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, visited the U.S. to quicken the process for the supply of 12 fighter jets by Bell Texacom of California. The supply of critical military tools came after Washington launched deadly strikes on terrorists in Northwest December 24th. Mr. Salami.
I'm so happy today, and perhaps you are too, if I ask you, why did I say this? You can see what dialogue can achieve. You can see what openness and robust discussion can bring. The U.S. has seen that the peculiar situation we have in this country is not a Muslim-Christian conflict thing. It's far more than that. The criminals amongst us, because that is who they are. If you bear a Muslim name and you engage in crime, you are not a Muslim, you are a criminal. If you bear Isaiah and you engage in criminal activities, you are a criminal. And let us see it that way. The moment we begin to see it the way it is and not religionize it with a view to weaponizing it as a political tool, we will get there. The real narrative has come out now that what is happening, what the bandits, terrorists, kidnappers, Boko Haram, ISWAPs, and all the non-state actors, what they are doing in this country has nothing to do with religion. Why? They do kill Muslims, they kill Christians, and they do not ask questions as to which religion do you profess. So clearly, the real narrative has come into the open, and this is where we begin to fight terrorism and banditry. And thank God, the fifth columnist and political opportunists who always twist the narrative to suit their satanic agenda will now be unhappy forever. Thank you, America, for the supply of critical military tools. This will in no way help to, let me use Lai Mohammed's word, to do what?
I'm not Lai Mohammed.
All right.
All right, Mr. Salami. Yeah, well, my initial reaction to this story was that of elation and excitement. But I also know that this is just the beginning. The Nigerian government, and now I mean the Nigerian state.
The U.S.
The Nigerian state has to make sure that its house is in order. Why do I say this? Mr. Salami, over the years, we've had stories of how information is managed, especially in the military circle, and this sometimes discourage foreign help because they don't want to compromise their security. They don't want to compromise the security of their men. And don't forget that the American government, just like many other countries, are not likely to volunteer boots on the ground. They are not likely to put the lives of their citizens on the line in an attempt to help Nigeria. This is the best they can do in terms of provision of equipment and maybe also provision of intelligence. We need to also be up and doing in terms of our ability to manage our information, in terms of our ability to gather intelligence, in terms of our ability to reduce moles within the military system, because you cannot completely remove that. It happens even in the best of systems. You hear 2 days ago that an American was accused of spying for the U.S. and he was convicted and stuff like that. So sometimes you have this even at the highest level, but we need to reduce this. 1, 2. We also need to separate emotions, sentiments from this fight against terrorism. I like the way you put it. A lot of people believe that the moment you try to attack an enclave that is dominated by a particular sect, you are declaring a war on a particular faith. And this is not exactly true, because when these criminals, when these beasts abduct our kids in school, they don't mind that. When they invade places of worship, they don't mind that. All they want is to get money most of the time, and also to shed blood. These are not people that you reason with. So I think we need to be forceful, we need to be intentional, we need to have that political will to say, no, enough is enough of playing politics, we need to clean the system. And when America and others say that, yes, the Nigerian government is leading the way in terms of determination to do this, more help is likely to come.
Let me now use the word decimated. Well, I am very, very sure that with the caliber of people we have at the helms of affairs, I mean our security apparatus, we are getting there. Days were when America wasn't even ready to listen to us. Days were when there was a threat, veiled as it was. Days were when America now shifted and hit the target. And they are now giving us critical military equipment, tools, to fight our battle. Lawrence, I am very sure that apart from the human factor, which you can do very little about, there will always be moles. There will always be non-state actors. There will always be those who are satanic in their outlook, in their thinking, and who are unpatriotic, and whose stock in trade is to demarket this country.
And there will always be those who are benefiting from the system.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. The status quo, as bad as it seems, but then collectively we'll defeat them.
Yeah, that's the spirit, and we hope that at the end of the day, we will have cause to celebrate. Still talking about security and about Nigeria, let's look at the Punch. It says governor's budget 525 billion naira for security as killing spread. And this is states across Nigeria earmarked a combined 525 billion naira for security votes and related operations between 2023 and 2025. According to an analysis of figures extracted from the approved budget document. The state's budgets are contained in Open States, that's the budget-backed website that serves as a repository of government budget data. The massive vote intended to bolster security nationwide raises critical concerns about the efficacy of these measures as citizens remain increasingly vulnerable to the tide of violence. State's budget 525 billion naira for security votes. Mr. Salam.
Well, you see, I keep on saying that throwing money at problem will not necessarily solve the problem. I'm not saying we don't need money. We really do need funding to fight insecurity, because you need to buy quite a lot of equipment to fight the non-state actors, the bandits, the terrorists, the kidnappers, the ISWAPs, and the extremists. We do need a lot of money to buy equipment, but money in itself and by itself will not solve this problem. Thank God that it is now coming into the open now. The cat is being and the governor of Delta had now said that yes, the quantum of money pouring into states is gargantuan. What I would rather say is this, because no two situations are exactly alike. Look at the peculiarity in your own state and come up, design and fashion out a watertight security system in such a way that you will decimate these evil servants.
I agree with you, Mr. Sam, because sometimes when you see amounts like this mentioned about states, because when you look at states, the contribution of states to security, yes, I know that some states are really up and doing. But most of the time, what you see is that you see a very elaborate ceremony where the governor would donate like 200 vehicles to the police, and there's this funfair and everything, and that's it. 6 months down the line, you cannot trace those vehicles. Some of them are broken down, some are stolen, some are converted to personal use by powerful men and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, we've always said it that at the engine room of our attempts to fight insecurity is our ability to master the craft of getting intelligence, timely intelligence on time. And as you said, states can do that, going down to the local levels, to the community levels. If you can organize a community watch, if you can organize youth and make them know that, yes, their responsibility is to give timely and credible information to security agencies. If every community in a particular state is alive to that responsibility, Mr. Salami, you cannot quantify the amount of success we will have in terms of combating criminalities.
It is community-driven. When you involve the community in curbing crime, you get result. You see, we've been saying these things, that these criminals are not ghosts. They don't live in space. They live with and amongst us. And there is the need for us to know that security is the responsibility of everybody, not just the security agencies alone. We know that some people, their mandate is to manage our security. That's why we don't carry guns. That's why we surrendered everything and allow the state to carry gun on our behalf. But more than that, we have a lot to do as well. There is a need for us to supply credible, timely, informed information that will assist the security agencies. It does not stop there. Eternal vigilance is the price we need to pay for it.
Yeah. And also, as a matter of incentives, the state governments can also give some kind of rewards if you are able to bring out information that will lead to the crackdown of a major cartel, a major organization. There is something for you. There's something for that community. Maybe we could build schools, something that will just make people very interested in, okay, I want to be interested in whatever happens to my community, what happens to my street. I want to be alert all the time because it's very, very important at the end of the day.
Motivation is no doubt very important. But more than that, the citizens must earn the trust of the government.
Very important.
Because without trust,
they are not likely to step forward. Exactly. They don't want a situation where you volunteer information and 2-3 days or maybe a month later, the suspect walks down to your house and guns you down because he was given a tip-off that so person brought that information. Mr. Salam is sad.
Very.
All right, let's go to Abu Dhabi, where our dear president is, and a lot has been happening there. The Nation newspaper is our guide, says Nigeria to co-host Investopia with UAE in February, seals trade pact. And President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday announced that Nigeria will co-host Investopia with United Arab Emirates in Lagos in February as part of renewed efforts to attract global investors and accelerate sustainable investment inflows into the country. The president made the announcement at the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, where Nigeria also concluded a comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the UAE to deepen bilateral trade and cooperation across key growth sectors. On the sidelines of the summit, the president and Mohammed Ibn Zayed Nahyan, president of the United Arab Emirates, witnessed the signing of the deal between the two countries. Mr. Salami, this is massive for the Nigerian government. And if you go down that road, there are a lot of fallout for that, for startups, for a lot of other sectors in the country at the end of the day.
Well, I want to be very careful in analyzing this very, very big feat because I have not been retained to take the job of Mr. Bayo Onanuga. But whether you like it or not, Nigeria is on the move. The world is now reckoning with Nigeria as a power bloc in the sub-region. For US to do what they did yesterday, and for the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to succeed in signing this massive deal, it only means that, yes, good days are here again. But I keep on saying this. Investors know where to put their money. Let investors, let them run after you. It is a big job. If you are the one running after investors, how can they, and how do they, and why should they run after you? There are a lot of preconditions, conditions precedent. There are some things that must be on ground without telling them they know. No investor will bring his fund or his capital to where there is insecurity. No investor will bring his hard-earned resources to where there is no energy or factors of production, as they say it. And where there is no clear policy outline, or where there is policy somersault, they will not come there. there are quite a lot of things that we as a people and as a government need to put in place where there is infrastructure. And again, like I keep on saying, that the fault is in ourselves. Let us stop demarketing our country too. I don't want a situation whereby we'll be 3 steps forward and 8 backward. It's an ill wind.
It blows no one any good.
We should stop demarketing this country. This is a great country. Lawrence, Lebanese, Chinese, Indians, they keep on trooping to Nigeria. And our own people, all they know to do is japa. You may japa, yes, provided you have something tangible to do. Not that japa for the sake of japa. No. That is not how it works. For these foreign nationals to come to this country, it means that there's something they are seeing that we, perhaps, are not seeing. But, truth be told, it's a blessed country.
It is. Yes, I'm very happy that you brought in the issue of what we need to do as a country. We need to also tidy our own end of it. Power is very important. We need to sort out infrastructure. We need to also make sure that the confidence the investors will have, and this confidence will come with a sustained, prolonged form of policy stability. And not today, this is what you're doing, tomorrow, this is what you're doing. People will be confused, people will be apprehensive about coming in. Don't forget that it's a global village. Now, at the touch of a button, an investor anywhere in the world knows what is happening in Lagos, knows what is happening in Abuja and anywhere. So they are really going to keep their eyes there, and they are going to watch. They have their own sources of getting information. If they are not confident, they are not likely to bring in their money because they are not Father Christmas. No, they have to be convinced that, well, how is the power supply? Are they going to spend so much on overhead in terms of because we came to do business? How is the road network? And more importantly, how's the security situation? These are issues that we really give people confidence, because you can't really, you can sign all the agreements you want in the world, but you can't force investors to come in if they are not convinced of their safety, they are not convinced of their investment, that their investment is safe, if they are not also convinced of an enabling environment to do business.
Lawrence, do you know that no matter the amount of talking to them, they have a way of getting their own information, and they still rely more on the information gotten by them than what it is fed them.
Very important. But all the same, we congratulate the Nigerian officials led by the president in this achievement. We hope that others will fall in if everything is put in place.
Let me put this one. Let us trust our government. For whatever it is worth, you can't trust, no doubt about that. But let us invest a modicum of trust, because they are doing something. And we have no dog in this fight. We as journalists, our own job is to report. And you report what you see. You can see that this government is doing something. We were in this country, and we are in this country. There was a minister in Abuja here. The minister was there for 8 years. And here is a man who, in the space of almost 3 years now, if you came to Abuja 4 years ago and you are in Abuja now, you need somebody to help you. You don't need to like this man. I'm talking of the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. You don't need to like him. And it does even not matter whether you like him or not. One thing you cannot deny is that he is a performer.
All right, let's look at this rather cheery news from the World Bank that's coming from the Vanguard newspaper. It says Nigeria to record fastest growth in 2026. That's in terms of the economy. And the World Bank announced yesterday that Nigeria's economy is on track to record its fastest growth in more than a decade, upgrading its forecast for the country's economic growth to 4.4% for 2026 and 2027. The World Bank disclosed this in its latest Global Economic Prospects report released yesterday. This is supposed to be a boost for the government.
Well, for the government, yes. For the people, I don't know. this Britain Wood and these IMF people, I don't really trust their judgment. They are more interested in themselves. The ordinary Nigerian knows when the government is doing something worthwhile. And the indices is very clear. How do they know? If they can afford and access healthcare system, if they can travel from Abuja to Lagos and the road is good, it is visible.
And safe.
And safe. If they could go to the hospital, the doctors are there and the drugs are there. This is a clear...
And if the schools are open.
If the schools are there, open, all year round, and the ASU are not threatening, and the labor is feeling good, these are simple, empirical, and visible way of detecting a working government and whether or not the government is delivering the bountiful dividends of democracy to the people. Let them keep their books. Yes, good, as a guide. But then the people really know when things are turning up well for them.
All right, talking about the universities, there's this story too that is also cheering. The TED Fund disburses 2.5 billion naira to each university in 2026. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund has revealed plans to allocate 2.5 billion naira to each university under its 2026 intervention cycle, with polytechnics set to receive 1.8 billion naira each, while colleges of education will get 2 billion naira apiece. This comes as the fund has introduced a new intervention line in 2026 yearly direct intervention known as the Nigerian Research and Education Network. Mr. Salami, 2.5 billion naira by any standard is not small money. And for this to go to a university, especially the universities that are not the big ones, is such a huge ones. This is in addition to the IGR, this is in addition to the government's allocation, and so many other things. And yet, we hope that if this is done, we will see appreciable difference in our university campuses.
Lawrence, has TED Fund taken over the job of Federal Ministry of Education?
No, not just
interventionist agency. Do you know that I nearly convinced myself that without TED Fund, perhaps the university may not exist. Go to so many universities. You see the projects embarked and concluded by TED Fund. There are some agencies in this country that they are really working. NAFDAC is working. NDLEA is working. TED Fund is working. There are so many others. And the good thing is that they are keying into the renewed hope agenda of this government. Lawrence, let me stop at this because I don't want to do the job of Bayo Onanuga.
I believe Egbon to rest. You keep mentioning his name. He's trying his best. Anyway, but for me, I think we should, if this is done for the next 3, 4, 5 years, and then we don't have an appreciable level of development in our campuses, then there's really something wrong with us as a nation, because there are some of these campuses, Mr. Salami, that you visit. They are nothing short of glorified secondary schools. In fact, there are some secondary schools that are better planned than some of the so-called universities you find, especially the ones, the state universities. You begin to wonder, what exactly is happening? This much fund, and we don't want a situation where they start fighting the vice chancellors and the rest. They construct one building, and before you know it, oh, this is the money we got from TED Fund. We use it to... Those interventions are also, apart from the fact that they are meant to also take care of some level of infrastructure, more importantly, research, because that's what universities are for. Fund research, fund other form of things going on, academic learning in the universities. Very, very important. And I hope that ASU and other unions will key into this, because this is an opportunity for lecturers to go on refresher courses, to go on sabbatical, and use that opportunity to do some levels of research, write books, and do a lot of things.
You know that there are 3 major objectives of any university. to start with. By university, you mean universality of knowledge. It's for teaching, research, and community what?
Engagement.
Service.
And service.
These are the three major goals or objectives of any university's what is named. But unfortunately, like you rightly pointed out, some universities are no better than a glorified secondary school. And more unfortunately, before you say Jack Robinson, you see approval from NUC that license approval has been granted or given to so to commence. I don't know. You see, university is more than just mere building. It's more than that. We attended universities. I'm proud to say that I attended the University of Ife, Great Ife. I didn't attend Obafemi Awolowo University. Though you will say that, yes, it is the same Ife that was renamed. Apart from the name, the content, if the so is not there, our this thing will not be there.
Mrs. Salmi, you made a very important point. You see, political considerations have taken over our need for citing universities. Now, politicians see it as one of the ways to give dividends of democracy to the people. We say, oh, I attracted the university to my constituency. And before you know, land is cleared, and the place is not even fenced, and 1 or 2 buildings put in place.
And it's already a university.
It's a university.
It is a mockery.
Well,
Tesla must come from your village because university is cited in Ogoruku. Don't let us make a mockery of knowledge and education. Unless we do it right, we will not get it right.
Mrs. Salma, I don't think we are ready to depart from what we've done, because for a lot of politicians, it's an election talking point. During election, what have you done? That's the question the people people are likely to ask lawmakers, as if it's the job of a lawmaker to bring university to it. That's the way we are, and that's our kind of politics. Nobody's going to ask, did you fund research? Did you encourage learning?
You endow a chair.
A chair for no.
Professorial chair.
Nobody's going to ask that, because they don't even know the meaning of that. They are going to ask, what did you attract to your constituency? How many government institutions did you bring to your constituency? That's it. And that's why you always have the problem during budget presentation and passage. A lot of lawmakers strive to make sure that certain institutions are brought to the account, even when these things are not necessary, because elections, and now that elections are coming, a lot of people need something to point out to say. But unfortunately, Mrs. Salami, that's where we have found ourselves. Meanwhile, let's still stay with the Guardian newspaper. 2027 laments waning public confidence in elections, acknowledging a steep decline in public confidence in electoral processes, which has remained fragile despite reforms carried out in recent election cycles. INEC yesterday reaffirmed its commitment to tackling growing voter apathy and strengthening public confidence in the electoral process as it begins early strategic preparations for the 2026 off-cycle elections and 2027 general election. The Commission stated this at a leadership workshop organized by a group for INEC's leadership, and INEC chairman raised the concern yesterday, noting that the workshop was timely and coming at a period of leadership transition within the Commission. Mr. Salami, what's your take first?
You know, we said it that the man will learn. I think he's beginning to understand the system and how it works. You see, election is a process, and there are a lot or series of activities. It is not a packaging that I will deliver this. No, it's a process, and in all these processes, you have people who will work on it.
Serious?
What am I saying? This mindset reset of the people working on this process is very key. And there are a lot of other things. The security aspect of it is there. The legal aspect of it is there. And the political aspect of it too is there. Because essentially, you are working with politicians whose stock in trade and whose interests, whose preferences are not necessarily in sync with your own. Well, you see, when votes count, and people now know that votes count, we are beginning. That is the beginning. That is the starting point. And before vote will count, you need to put a lot of things in place. No doubt about it that people are losing confidence in the electoral process. Let election be won at the post, not in the court.
Mr. Salami, you know, we've been saying this over the years, especially on this show, that for as long as we always get what we give as a society, nobody is going to come from Mars or anywhere to fix our processes for us. And we are the ones, because who are those in charge of when we talk about election, most people think about INEC first. No, that's not right. Because before we even get to general elections, we have primaries. We just heard it now that the court in Ekiti
nullified the primary of PDP.
That's it. And at the end of the day, if the case gets to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court says, no, this person is not the candidate, is this person.
It should not be on the ballot.
We now
say INEC disenfranchised.
And we also say, no, the court should not choose who should be our leaders. But from beginning, you have refused to do what is right.
And what is contained in your own law.
Your own laws. Simple thing. If you don't want to do that, and when you were saying that the INEC chairman, you see, it's like when you have the core sciences and then the social sciences. You know, in social sciences, you are dealing with human beings.
Of course.
And it's very difficult. Unlike in core sciences where you have formulas and they are static, 1 + 1 is always 2. Anywhere in the world, take it to anywhere in the world.
Right, with human beings.
Human beings are different. And when you deal with politicians, how do we exploit the loopholes? That's number one. That's what they look out for. And no matter who is there. For INEC, I don't think they should really feel so bad, because I have witnessed elections in this country, Mr. Salami. And as bad as the situation we may think is now, there was a time it was worse.
It's getting better. It's even getting better.
That's what I'm telling you. We're gradually getting better. But we still have a lot to do ahead. A lot to do ahead as individuals. Mr. Salami, before we go, there's this story that simply broke my heart yesterday when I read it. And it's coming from Kano residents. How my wife died after hospital left scissors in her stomach. This is the story from Daily Trust. The Abubakar Imam Urology Center, Kano, has been accused of medical negligence resulting in the death of Aishatu Umar, a patient. The deceased husband, Abubakar Mohammed, alleged that his wife died from complications linked to a surgical procedure carried out in the facility. Daily Trust gathered that she passed away in the early hours of Monday. Scissors was reportedly left in her stomach after surgery. He told Daily Trust that the deceased, who fell ill some months ago, underwent surgery at the health facility in September. He said after the operation, she began experiencing severe abdominal pain. Each time she returned to the hospital to complain, she was only given pain relief medication without further investigation. Mr. Salami.
Well, just quite a week ago, we are still on it. Chinamanda's son's dead.
Yes.
And this, you see, professional negligence, allegedly anyway, is something that should be dealt with decisively. You see, Lawrence, we've been talking about impunity and lack of consequences. Whenever and wherever there are consequences for acts, omissions, and commissions, you know what will happen. But when we go away with impunity, if you allow impunity to be the order of the day, what do you see? There are regulatory agencies. The NMA is there. Nigerian Medical Association is there to oversight, so to speak, quote and unquote, the conduct. We were told in the university after graduation that we have been found what in what?
Learning and character.
both. And just to let you know that this your certificate, it's not for you. It's not for you for keeps. That if you are no more found worthy in learning and character, what will happen?
To be withdrawn.
God bless you. I will stop at that.
It's really sad. We hope that investigations will be added, and at the end of the day, we will get to the root of it. It's bad enough that the man lost his wife, but people should be punished. There should be consequences for action. Very, very sad at the end of the day.
May our soul rest in peace.
Amen. Thank you so much, Mr. Salam. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. We'll see you again tomorrow, bright and early, 7 a.m. Thank you so much, sir.
It's a pleasure.
And that's our package on the show today. My name is Lawrence Moiti. Enjoy the rest of your day.